Hello class 10th. This is the second part of your chapter, The Thief Story. And I already told you that in this chapter there are two main characters. First is the thief, whose name is Hari Singh this time, as he always change his name. And the second main character is Anil. Somehow Hari Singh gained Anil's trust and started living with him. But after spending a month, he thought to do his real work. And what is his real work? To steal. How he does that, we will read now. Alright, I will read 2 to 3 paragraphs together and then I will tell you the explanation. Alright, let's start from here. See, Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat upon the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlight. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. My hand slipped under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side. Towards me, I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes, 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. Now what is being said here? That Hari started his work when Anil was sleeping. There was a little bit light over Anil's bed because of the moonlight that was coming in from the window. Hari sat on the floor and planned that if he took the money, he could leave the city by 10:30 p.m. with that Lucknow express train. He then crawled silently towards the bed and slipped his hand slowly inside the bed mattress where Anil has kept his money. He looked at Anil, who was sleeping peacefully without a single line on his face, and Hari's face had so many scars on it. He realized that although he was much younger, Anil, he was younger than Anil, and because of his wrong work, he had such a bad appearance. He looked bad. On the other hand, Anil, he was carefree and thought good for others, because of which he had such a nice face. Hari then took out notes without making any noise, as he already mentioned in the starting of the chapter that he was very good with his stealing work. Anil took a breath in his sleep and then he turned towards him. He was directly facing Hari, which scared him a bit, and he quickly left the room. Then as soon as he left the room, he was on the road. He started running and he had kept the notes in his pajamas. He had tied it with the string of the pajama. There are strings in the pajamas. He tied it with them. Then after a while, he slowed down. He slowed down. Why? To count the money. He had 12 notes of 50s. It means it makes 600 rupees. 12 into 50, 600. 50 rupees into 12 is 600 rupees. Then Hari thought to himself that with this much money, he could live a luxurious life like an Arabian sheikh for at least 2 weeks. Alright. I hope this much is clear. Let's see the next page. In this picture, you can see here that how he did his work. He slipped his hand. You can see here, he's doing it. He slipped his hand under the bed mattress and silently took out the money. Again, I'm going to read the whole page and then I will tell you the explanation of this. Alright. See here, when I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving up. The train had still to pick up speed and I should have been able to jump onto one of the carriages. But I hesitated for some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance, but I knew that Anil's face when he discovered the theft would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly, it was early November, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. Now what happens? When Hari reached the station after stealing the money, he straight away went to the platform without buying a ticket, as he had never bought a ticket in his life. He had always travelled without a ticket. When he reached the platform, the Lucknow Express train in which he had to go was just about to leave the platform, or you can say it was just leaving the platform. The train was still slow, so he could have easily jumped and got on one of the carriages. But he did not do so. Why he did that? There was a bit hesitation in him. Even he didn't understand why he had that hesitation inside him. And because of that hesitation, he could not board the train, or he could not get into the train and leave that city. After some time, when the train had left, Hari found himself all alone at the empty platform. There was no one in that platform. Hari did not know where he would spend the night. He did not have any friends whom he could go to, as he used to think that friends were more of a trouble than being helpful. He did not even want to stay at any of the small hotels, as that would attract attention. He knew only one person in the city very well, and he had robbed him. As Hari was walking through the bazaar, after leaving the station, he was thinking of his observations. Now he is thinking his observations as a thief. In his short career span, he had realized that although everybody, like from rich to poor, shows different reaction to losing their goods, they showed different reactions, but Anil would be a little sad. Why is that so? That is because not he lost his money. It is because he has lost trust that he had on Hari. He would be sad that he trusted someone so much and the person had betrayed him. So the loss of trust was there with Anil. Hari was walking when he reached a park and he sat on a bench. As it was the month of November, the night was a bit chilly, very cold. Not too cold, but it was a bit cold. And this drizzle and all these were adding discomfort to Hari. Then what happened? It started raining quite heavily. And Hari's shirt and pajamas, they got stuck to his body. He was drenched. So that is why his clothes, they got stuck to his body. And this cold wind was blowing across Hari's face and he could feel all that chill. It was November, it was chilly, and this rain was making it tough for him to survive outside. Alright. Then see here. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Then Hari, he went back towards the bazaar and sat under the shelter of the clock tower to escape getting wet. Alright, it was 12 o'clock by the clock tower and Hari checked the notes and they were wet. Alright, then see, Anil's money in the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema, but now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meal, run to the bazaar or learn to write whole sentence anymore. Hari checked the notes, they were wet. Then again Hari started thinking that it was Anil's money, and if he had not stolen it, Anil would have surely given him 2 to 3 rupees to go to see a movie. But now he has stolen it. He had it all. Now he won't be able to make tea or do groceries for Anil anymore, nor he would be able to learn to write whole sentence ever. Alright, now see here, I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentence I knew could one day bring me more than a few hundred rupees. It was a simple matter to steal and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. Here, out of excitement, he had not realized that he would be losing all these things. He knew that if he could learn to read and write, he could earn much more money than these few hundred rupees, that too honestly. He knew that it was very easy to steal something from someone, but sometimes it was that easy to get caught as well. He knew that if he learned to read and write, he could surely become a big and respected man one day. Then Hari told himself that he should go back. if he wanted to learn to read and write, and also if he wanted to be a big man one day. Understood? Now see here. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight, and Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. Hari went back to Anil's room and was very nervous because he knew that it was much more difficult to return stolen things without being caught than actually stealing it. Hari went to the hallway and stood there as the moonlight was still falling over the bed. Anil was still asleep. Hari went near the head of the bed and took out the notes. As he was going near the mattress, his hand could feel what he could feel. He could feel Anil's breath on his hand. Hari became still for a moment. He got stunned for a moment. But he quickly found the edge of the mattress, and finally he slipped the money that he had stolen under it back. Alright, now see here. I woke the late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you will be paid regularly. My spirit rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. The next morning, Hari, he woke up a little late, and Anil had already made the tea by then. That was the work of him. But as he woke up late, so Anil did that work by himself. Then Anil, he extended his hand towards Hari and given him 50 rupees note in his hand. Hari thought he had been caught. He thought that he's been caught. But what happened? That Anil, he explained that he had made some money the day before. So he was giving him 50 rupees. He also said that he would be paying Hari regularly now. Hari was really happy, but when he took the note from his hand, what he found that the money was still wet from the last night rain. Then he came to know that he knows something. He also said, Hari, that he would teach him how to write sentences also. Then Hari realized that Anil had come to know something, or you can say everything, that what happened last night. Alright, so he thought, but the great thing happened was that he did not let it show on his face or by his words. Hari again smiled at Anil in the most appealing way, like he used to do. And Anil smiled also, like Anil's smile also came to his face without any effort this time. Alright, so in this way he came to know about the theft, but still he didn't show it by his actions. He did that so that the change that has been there with Hari can stay. Alright, that is why he didn't said him anything. So this completes this chapter. Read it again. It's a very nice chapter. How a thief want to become a big man by learning things from Anil, and how he kept the money back as he didn't want to break Anil's trust. Alright, understood? So this is it. Bye and take care.